All right, welcome back.
Right. 6.
90 Ways We Serve You. Really enjoyed doing this series, so let's pick it up at 51. So we're kind of into the process now of writing offers. Assuming we don't get the first house that we go and see, which is not uncommon, take pre-approvals with each new offer, right? So everybody thinks like you get your first pre-approval letter, they'll slam dunk, right? And you'll just use that same letter every time. But what happens if you get pre-approved for 50, and then you decide, well, you know what? I really want to see this house that's 410. We're only going to offer 415. We really don't want to let the seller know that, hey, we have all this extra financial ability. Not to get that accepted, but also doing one specific to that property. There's a bunch of different reasons why, well, we can cover at a later time on why we do a new one with each offer. Sometimes you switch lenders in there. Sometimes, there's a variety of different things, right? We're going to explain all the different timelines associated with the loan that you're going after, right? So understanding what the timeline is for financial commitment, lender's commitment to the seller is part of it. Understanding what your contingency timelines are. Once they've given financial commitment to your loan for X house 123 Ukulele Street, then you don't have that out anymore, right? A lot of times the financial commitment is like your last out. We're also going to choose a closing date, right? So we're going to have a conversation. So if we were writing an offer today, most likely we'd write that offer for May 2nd, right? That's a Thursday, right? So 30 days from the day that you write the offer, typically in Maryland. Now there's different situations, like if we're doing a renovation loan, those need a little bit more time. There's a whole bunch of different pieces that go in there. One thing I'll tell you is we never close a house on a Monday and we never close a house on a Friday, right? Because things happen. I feel like title companies don't think about you for the next week on that Friday before. So if you're closing on that Monday, it's like a scramble X to try to get everything sorted out. Rarely works out well, makes us look kind of lack of professionalism, which is not my favorite. And you never close on Friday because say something does go wrong and there is a hiccup or seller doesn't leave or whatever, one of 1,000 things in the contract, it gives us no room to scramble and keep that closing in for that week. Because a lot of times people are lining up movers and, making plans, taking time off work, all of those things that don't like pushing them to the next week. Sometimes it's feasible, but most of the time we like to try to keep it in that same week, right? We're also kind of writing this contract. We're going to make sure that all the listing data is correct because kind of once you've ratified, it becomes a lot harder to go back and fix because now you're renegotiating everything, right? What's included in the house is actually what we're getting with the house. There's a multitude of things, but making sure that everything that's in the MLS listing was actually what we're getting. View comps to determine value, right? So we're looking at 123 Ukulele Street and the listing, we think the listing's low, right? But we don't know how low. Sometimes listing agents will put in a property for $30,000 under what they think to try to drive a auction style, if you will. So having a good idea of what's sold around there. You never want to be the biggest, most expensive house on the block, right? We're going to prepare and submit the offer to the listing agent, right? When we're the listing agent, typically we like to list properties on a Thursday and take them off on a Sunday, giving our seller clients a pick up the litter, if you will, on different offers to choose from. Every agent's a little different, so there's no right way, wrong way to do it. But I would say a general timeline for once you've submitted an offer to get a response is usually 24 to 48 hours, or at least have a deadline set to know when they actually are going to make a decision, right? 58, it says execute sales contract and disclosures. We're going to execute those disclosures here in Maryland when we write the contract. When the seller accepts our offer, they're going to execute the contract. And then there may be some initials back and forth depending on what's changed within the contract that we have to initial and execute on our side, right? So now we're under contract, right? And you got to choose a title company. We love Admiral Title personally. Their office is above our office upstairs. So we really like working with them because there's a problem. I get to go darken somebody's doorway and I'm really hard to ignore with my bright purple shirt when I'm standing in your doorway. It's kind of hard to not answer my questions, if you will. Right? But we're going to get the contract over to them so they can get the title process started and get us rocking and rolling for everything we need to do to get this closed. And the last thing is they're going to coordinate the EMD or earnest money deposit. That's your skin in the game as a buyer. That's the skin in the game to the seller to say, hey, we're giving you $1, $2, $3, $5,000, depending on the purchase price of the property, usually 1%. But we're going to get that set up and rocking and rolling. So thanks for joining us for part 6. Stand by for part 7 in a few days. I'm excited. Love you guys. Smile more.